That is an incredible song from Jen Johnson, In Over My Head. What a powerful declaration. I do love Jen Johnson from Bethel. It's such an amazing declaration. In Over My Head. Wow, what an incredible song. It's me, your host, John. The time is exactly 3 minutes past 1 p.m. on a very beautiful Thursday afternoon. And I am not alone in the studio. For those who are watching us live on Facebook, you can see Shemaine Kiwi and her husband, Casper. Awesome. I love it. They're both with me in the studio. So it's going to be a fantastic time. Stay tuned. We're going to have a conversation about her incredible business called the Taste Bud Company. So before we start, Shemaine, we have a tradition that we like to do here. We want to give you an opportunity to give a shout out to anyone who might be listening in right now or supporting you, whether it's friends, fans, family.
Okay, so my shout out would be I want to say thank you and hello to all my customers. Thank you to my family, to Amy, Timmy, Bernie, and Casper Kiwi, who's sitting next to me, to all my church amazing community who helped me come as far as this, and to my friends. I don't know if I mentioned friends.
Absolutely. Awesome.
That's
awesome.
my shout out.
Awesome. Fantastic. Because you know what? Any business is supported by people.
Absolutely.
The community around you, the friends that you have, the people that actually are rooting for you, the people that, refer your business to other people and other people to you. Incredible. So I'm just going to start by reading the biography and so that we know Shemaine Kiwi, Casper Kiwi, and the Taste Bud Company. So the Taste Bud Company is a catering company based in the friendly city of Port Elizabeth, which is now called Gqeberha. They provide tasty meal options for those wanting to live a healthy lifestyle, trying to lose weight, or suffering from diabetes. They also cater for companies who subsidize meals for their staff, as well as offer their services for larger functions such as birthdays and weddings. They strive to keep all their food at the highest level of taste and quality. Their enthusiasm and creativity for food is used to keep the menu fresh and delicious. Ultimately, they believe in food cooked with passion and love. Their mission is to provide a service for clients who want to have a healthy eating lifestyle but do not have the time to cook. Well, I can I can vouch for that. Absolutely. Some of their products include this low GI frozen meals, specializing in weight loss food, cater for various customers with different weight loss formulas. They cater for small functions, that is, business launches, birthdays, etc. At the moment, they cater for a chartered aircraft company making meals for their flights. They specialize in frozen beef and chicken, lasagnas. Oh, don't mention lasagnas now. It's lunchtime. All right. And single, double, and family size lasagnas for their birthdays. Wow. Shemaine, this is absolutely fantastic. Compliments to you, to Casper, and to the entire company.
Thank you so much, John.
Wow. I want to just, find out what really motivated you from the very beginning to launch forth into catering company.
Okay. So what motivated me? I think we all come from a root system, and I think my root system would be my mom.
Okay.
We used to call her Omi
All right.
Histirki, and she was an Afrikaans lady who didn't have much education, but she put food on the table, and she just loved people and loved food. So when Casper lost his job, I think it was in 2007, I spent time with the Lord, and I just felt the Lord say to me, what did Moses have in his hand? Because, you always think, what are you going to do now? And I realized, I said, God, all I've got in my hand is food.
Okay.
And when I say that why do we always see food as just something, you're stuck in the kitchen,
All right.
And that's how I started.
Okay.
And because I had a love for food, and I love feeding people, and I love the fellowship that goes with it. When you think of Jesus, he never, ever didn't feed people. He was always feeding people,
Absolutely. And we talk about the 5,000 who were fed with the loaves of bread and fish, and also their Last Supper. It was a supper.
It was a
there
supper.
was a meal and the fellowship. There's just something amazing about food and fellowship.
Absolutely,
because you don't eat with somebody who you don't want to get to
Yeah.
know. Absolutely, it's
Definitely.
amazing.
I love his fish bras. I would have loved to have been at that one.
Wow. Absolutely. And I think this could be for you, Casper, or even you, Charmaine. How did you come up with the, because when we talk about naming, the naming of a business is absolutely important. It usually has to do with the purpose, the prophetic purpose, and what you want to communicate to your clients.
Yes.
Every time they hear the name, the Taste Bud Company, what went into the naming of the business?
Yeah, that is quite complex
Yeah.
because my name, there's a scripture for my name, and it
All right.
says, I think it's in Jeremiah, it says there, and I found your word and I ate it. And I think God is amazing because He has put these amazing taste buds onto our tongue. And
Wow.
it's just, we can taste sour, sweet, bitter. It's just amazing.
Wow.
And not only that, when you think of it, God's word says, taste and see that I'm good.
Wow.
So it's quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh, man, you're going deep in scripture, man.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this. It's actually very prophetic.
It is prophetic.
It is very prophetic.
So every time someone tastes our food, they're tasting some of God's creativity because
Wow.
it's really our creativity that comes out. We don't just slap the food together. We're very fussy.
Wow,
So
absolutely.
my husband is a recipient of our food. Hey, love?
Definitely.
We-
I'll taste it.
Absolutely cool. Well, that is absolutely amazing. And when you say, the coining of the name and how creative, it's not just like you put something. There's creativity that goes into it that
Creativity,
speaks
yeah.
about the creative nature of God, and
Yes,
also
absolutely.
how He has endowed us with the
Absolutely.
same creative ability like Him, made in His image and likeness.
I love Jeremiah. I think it's Jeremiah 1:4-5, where it says that before you were born, God had a plan and purpose. It's very similar to Psalm 139. So He knew that, we would, that I would love food, and He knew the journey that Casper and I would be on, because there are, in this day and age, you really do need to have a creative way of creating money.
Absolutely. That's absolutely important.
Yeah.
The economy is really important,
It
even
is
in the
very,
kingdom.
yeah.
We definitely need it. Well, you have designed and positioned the business for a specific target audience. I want to find out what pain points are you solving in the community? Because every business, usually we say this, a business is usually an entity or a person who's seen a gap in the market, who's seen a need and has moved in to solve it, but then just monetizes it.
Yes.
So what need do you think you as the Taste Bud Company are
I
solving?
think there are various niches that I've looked at, and I think one of the things that I've realized in catering is that it's also seasonal. It depends on where you're at. So we've done amazing catering for many years for Shelton Agency. It was a flight company, and that was really fun because I did like lovely boxes. It was like a really creative thing, so we've done that. And then I also created meals for a weight loss company, and then they were sold. They sold the company, and then I then started my own frozen food, family food. So I think for me the niche is at the moment is food is expensive. I mean, you know that. Food is expensive. Petrol's going up. Electricity is going up. So often you can go into your freezer, or your fridge, Johnny. How much has gone rotten in your fridge? You think you're going to use this. You think you're going to use that. Think of meatballs. When last have you had meatballs?
Sure. Yo.
Okay, as they say in Afrikaans, frikadels. I think of my mother.
Okay.
And so I'm saying the niche would be for people who are really busy. And you don't have to buy my food for every day of the week, but there's 1 day or 2 days a week that you are really busy as a mom. I mean, you come home, most moms are working these days. They come home and they've got projects, they've got the washing, they've got a lot of stuff. So I'm saying take our food out the freezer, pop it into the oven or microwave, and you've got your meal done within an hour.
Wow.
So that is really, and our food is delicious. Delicious. I call it deliciousness.
Absolutely. I've heard about it. Hey, awesome. Well, when you're serving, and how long have you been in business, if I should just ask?
Well, oh my word. So I started off at Ford Motor Company when I was young, and then I had twin boys, and
Okay.
then a little girl, and then I did play school for a while, and then, yeah, and I just started to move slowly into the food business. So it really came from, as I said, with Casper, when he lost his job, and it has taught us that we've all got creativity. We don't have to sit and do nothing. I think of someone like Ina Parman. As I was driving here, I was thinking of Ina Parman. I think she got divorced, and she started her cooking classes in her garage.
Wow.
We tend to think, I wrote down here earlier, big does not mean success. We tend to look at these big companies and think they're successful. Why can't the smaller company also be successful? And that's how she started. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes.
Did I
In
answer
terms
it?
of tenure in business, like running the taste, but about how
Yes.
many years do you think you've been in?
Well, we started in 2007, small,
Wow.
very small, and then we've just, I've gone where God has led me. Steps of the righteous man are directed by God. So then I'd find one season I'd be doing food for a particular company. Then they wouldn't be able to cope with the increase, of the prices, because, I started off, I think, charging like 27 rand a meal.
Sure.
And it was a struggle to get them to pay me. And so I would say from about 2007 we've been involved in various forms.
Wow, that is about 14, 15 years
Yeah,
now?
15
years.
15 years, yeah.
Wow,
My
that-
husband's the one who calculates. I discovered today that I even knew some of my multiplication. That was quite 7 fours are 28.
Awesome. That is really good. And the reason why I'm asking, that your tenure in business,
Yes.
because to really survive in
Yes.
the food industry,
Sure.
there needs to be a high level of consistency, and especially to
Absolutely.
serve people who get satisfied
Absolutely,
continually.
yeah.
When you're serving companies like I think the
Absolutely.
airlines that you did
Yes,
at one point and stuff like that. I want to find out, how do you achieve consistency over and over again? As you said, your food is delicious. How do you get into that consistency? Is there some sort of formula? You need to pour, whatever, how many milliliters of
Yes,
these and
yes,
stuff
yes,
like. What
yeah,
goes
yeah.
into getting that
Okay, so
consistency?
I think and Johnny, I'm being honest with you, I was an academic. Okay, so measurements like grammage and stuff it wasn't my cup of tea. And then when God opened this door, I learned so much. I even learned for this weight loss company, I even learned to create recipes. I think we must have had about 40 recipes that I created. And they are still delicious, but somebody else is making them.
Okay.
And so I would say definitely you must have you must be strong in what you want. My ladies will call me and say to me, come and taste. They know my taste. They've learned my taste. So it's a team effort. I'm hard on myself. It has to be, if you look at the Richter scale of 0 to 10, it has to be at least an 8, or I
Wow.
never make it
Wow.
again. So that is what, and we make mistakes. I remember my daughter saying to me, Mom, if you make a mistake, it's okay as long as you find a solution for your customer. She said those are the ones that you keep, because it's the way you actually apologize. I've had people where I've forgotten to deliver the food on the day, what I
sure.
mean? And they're still my customers, because you
Wow.
have to be humble. You have to be humble. So I would say it's many facets to produce a good product. I want a good
absolutely.
standard. I will never ever ever go and buy meat that I wouldn't eat.
Wow.
Johnny, I will never do it. So I want to
Absolutely.
eat my own food. I'm fussy.
Well, absolutely. And talking about humbling yourself to your customers, and being approachable, and
Yes.
being able to be corrected, or something standing to be corrected. We're talking about customer service here. How important is customer service in the catering? The feedback loop, and the consistent communication. As you said, for example, you miss somebody's big day.
Yes. Oh my word.
Or something is not as the way they wanted it. How do you approach such a scenario?
You humble yourself and you take it. My mother always used to say, customer is king. And I often say to my ladies, you are only as good as your last meal.
Wow.
So for me, it's a humbling thing. Thank God. I have had to humble myself a lot in this, but I think it's just being humble in the fact that they're buying from you. You know, I've had people like NMMU, and they've been a customer of mine for years, and I never ever have to tell them what I'm going to make. You know, if they have an event, they will just say to me, "This is our budget," and I just bring in the food, and they love it. So they give me. I love that part of it. Is that they give me leeway to be creative, because I'm quite creative. Whatever is fresh at the moment or is inexpensive that you can use, you know, why not? So, yeah.
Wow, absolutely, man. Customer is king.
Customer
As you
king,
heard that,
customer
you know,
is king.
customer is king.
Take it on the chin if you make a mistake.
Wow.
And then it's like Sherwood Gardens. My word, have you ever been to Sherwood Gardens?
No.
This is a little bit of a marketing thing for them.
All right.
I can remember Sean, the guy. I think it's the brother who helps the sister who runs who's the owner of the company. How many times has something been late? Sean will arrive. Here is something for you special.
Wow.
Here's something special.
Wow.
It's just like you build a rapport with the owner. You know. So I think that's personal touch is.
This is
personal.
experience talking, right here. This is
taken a long
experience.
time.
This is experience talking, and if you want to jump into any business, you know, for that, you know, matter, not just the catering, please do remember, you know, customer service is absolutely important. And well, to be successful, there's another element of business, which is marketing. We want to touch on that. You know, how, you know, as a food industry, you know, because I'm sure there are, you know, regulations, there are food safety measures and what have you. How do you market yourself apart from just the, you know, they say the biggest way of marketing in PE, which is, you know, feedback, you know, word of mouth,
customer feedback, and
exactly.
Referrals are very important. I was reading a book the other day. He's going to be mentoring me.
Okay.
And they were saying your first customer costs you quite a bit from a marketing point of view. But if you can get that customer to buy from you 7 times, you've got him.
Wow.
And that is an amazing, what do you call it? Aid to your finances. So...
Yeah, so I was asking, you know, what are the various platforms? You know, how do you market yourself apart from just the word of mouth?
All right, so now I started in 2007 knowing nothing about marketing. I didn't even know anything about broadcasting. Okay, I really didn't know much, and so it was just a case of supplying the food to the customer. And then I started to become clever. I started to learn about broadcasting, and then all the people I knew, I created these broadcasts lists.
Wow.
Okay, and so I manually would tell people what I've got available.
All right.
And man, Johnny, I made mistakes. I remember one night I was adding people's names to the broadcast list, and suddenly I got people contacting me. Why have you sent me 30 names? I didn't know how to do it, and I had to apologize, humble myself again. Anyhow, so broadcasting was really important and is still very important. So, and then we moved into a new realm when I got COVID in May last year. I think I was admitted on the 15th of May, and I was in hospital for about 17 days on oxygen. And I'd often thought, Jesus, what will happen if I can't work? What is going to happen, you know? And I landed up. And I can remember writing to Colleen, our pastor's wife, and saying, what am I going to do? And because as much as I've got the most amazing girls, how are we going to market this thing? You know? And she just said to me, trust God.
Wow.
Well, my precious daughter, Amy Kiwi, who she's an artist, she is amazing. And she's worked for a company called Dear Ray. She does their brand managing. And you won't believe it, she came on the scene. Because, you know, I think the young kids, I think they feel, mom's doing a job. It's almost like a taste neighbor rate. You know what I mean? Making your little cook sisters and so on. And there's nothing wrong with making cook sisters. My mother made it for years.
Yes.
But I think suddenly the family could have woken up to see what I'm doing, you know. And she took over the marketing, and oh my word, has she done an incredible job. I mean, you've seen the designs.
Yes.
And the thing that I love about it is that our food, and I love watching, you know, the food programs.
Yes.
The eye, what you see, it must meet the taste.
Mm,
If it doesn't, it's an absolute, it's a
Absolute.
lie, So we, what was it, about a month ago, Cassie, or 6 weeks ago, she came and she did a whole photo shoot on the food.
Wow.
And I promise you, I even stood thinking, Jesus, it can only be you that can do this thing. It was delicious. So I would say
Absolutely.
marketing is very important, and it's scary to market because you don't have the money for it. But Amy is
Absolutely.
teaching me, my daughter's teaching me, just start slowly and get someone who's professional, because I mean, I'm not going to go and get a guy to come and fix my let's say my help me, my electricity or my plumbing, if he's driving a clapped out car. You know what I'm saying? I
Absolutely.
want somebody to know that there's excellence in it. So I think Amy's done an incredible job.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've had with my son Tim, he works at Hopewell. We're all into the food. And he did his training through Capsicum, and so he's helped me a lot. You know, he's got an incredible eye for plating. And I've learned from him. Like, you don't just put some baby tomatoes on the plate. He would hold it up and say, Mom, let the baby tomatoes drop, and let them just drop and settle where they settle.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it's so crazy. It works, you know. So I don't know if I'm answering the question.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Absolutely. This is absolutely amazing. For those who are listening about it, one thing that is sticking out over and over, there's one theme: excellence. You know, excellence. You know, even as a servant of God in the market,
Absolutely.
you definitely need to put excellence. In fact,
Excellence.
we are called to excellence. I want to find out, from you, Charmaine, just as we're rounding off, when you're putting together a menu for an event or something like that, what are the main things somebody listening to us right now should pay attention to? Say it's our birthday, 21st birthday or something like that, and they want to have a full 3-course meal. What are some of the things that you would put together? It's like, this is a must do.
Okay. First of all, I'd want to know what the customer wants, because that is what you have to meet the standard. What they want. And then never ever, this is what I feel very strongly, don't overextend yourself. Don't think that you can do something that you can't. If they say they wanted beef Wellington and your oven can't do it, don't do it. Say, sorry, I'm not going to, but I can offer you this.
Wow.
So always have a look at your capabilities. I think that's a very important thing. I know of a young girl, she was about 40, young in comparison to me, and she did a venue. She did a catering event, and when she got there, the oven was too small for what she was going to prepare. It was a disaster. I've never forgotten that. So I'm just saying, you have to be on your game. What are the facilities like? What are your cooking facilities? Can you do what they're asking? If you can't do, you can offer them something else. You don't have to say no. So I think that would be, for me, a very important thing. And have passion when you cook, and cook with love. We don't just do it because we want to do it, because we have to put food on the table. I must say that I just love events. We don't do huge events. Our events are, like my niece Tanya, she runs Le Berge in Chelsea, and I've done weddings there, like for 50 people. I've done events for 110 people, but I've never done, actually I have done events for the municipality for 200.
Sure.
But there were many of us doing it for 200.
Wow.
But I'm just saying, I love the finished product. We had Cameron McIntosh, he's an ENT specialist in Port Elizabeth, and they are looking at opening up a hospital at Bay West, in the Bay West area. And man, it was exciting to do the event.
Wow.
It's so, one is proud of what, and then you must remember, I've got people who help me. I've got like Danny, who's on our, on Facebook. I've got my friends who come in, they love the event. So. Yeah.
Absolutely cool. I've just got 2 or 3 more questions, and then we round up. I want to find out what drives you, because you know what, it's not easy. Running a business, it's not easy. I've heard quite a few, descriptions about running a business. For somebody out there who thinks, it's just about, we're just going to get into this, it's going to work out. What drives you, especially when you hit those curveballs and, those dead ends, or, a moment where like you are unclear about something? What drives you?
Johnny, I don't know if it's my age, but you cannot do it without Jesus. I'm telling you, you can't do it. There are times that I sit outside. I used to be so fearful. You can ask Casper. I've suffered from tremendous fear. And we hit, what was it, the love story? Yes, and I started to make potato rosties. Valley Market. It was the first market that opened, and that is where Casper really supported me. He's the quiet one. I'm the you know what I mean? So I would definitely say, yeah. What would you say, Lovey?
Well, I think what drives you, it's a case of, you can't promise what you can't deliver. And I think the fact of the matter is, I think with Charmaine, she actually enjoys what she's doing. So if you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, you're doing it for the wrong reason, and it's not going to last. But if you actually enjoy it, and as you said before, you are going to have the ups and downs. But that's where our community has come in. When the one is not well, the other one is there to support. The support we've had from the community when we've had events, and helping and putting together and dropping off when I'm not here or she's not there. It's just been phenomenal. And I think it's the main thing is doing something and knowing what to do and making sure that what you do is you do to the best of your ability. Don't take shortcuts. Don't try and compromise or improvise. Do it like, and if you've made a mistake with somebody, have the nuts to go and say to the person. I mean, I've in the last week had to go and see a customer, and I've got them now to contact me if there's any problem.
Yeah, because our broadcasting went a bit haywire, you know. So then sometimes, you can see why this happens, because sometimes the older people don't know how to order. So we've had to look at that and say, okay, fine, we're going to have a WhatsApp group. That is where Cassie is coming in.
Get them to phone me.
All right.
Because I love the deliveries.
He loves the people. He loves the people,
and especially the ones in the old age arms.
Awesome, man. This is awesome. We can see.
But Johnny, I do want to just finish about the Lord. I promise you, God has helped me. He's given me ideas like you can't believe. I mean, even the potato rosties that we made, I stood there and I said, Father, show me. What do you think? I promise it's crazy. It's to give him glory. That is why excellence, you are, especially if you're going to say that you're a Christian, not that I say my what I do and how I present and how I serve should be enough. They should know that there's something different. But I could never, ever, ever do it without the Lord. I mean, when I think of cash flow, how he comes through. Casper can tell you how I used to be so freaked out. Lord Jesus, I don't know. And he surprises me with the most crazy opportunities to cater. So I'm just saying, for me, I've moved a lot from my own ability, thinking I could pull a bunny out of a hat, you know what I mean? But now it's not so much as pulling the bunny out the hat. I'm saying, Jesus, can you help me pull the bunny out the hat? I want to do what he wants me to do. So that is really my heart. I want to give him glory, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, he's given me the ability.
Absolutely. Well, Casper, you wanted to say something?
No, I think Charmaine said it all. I think the fact of the matter is it's... I think the idea was also, I think that Charmaine forgot to say, was one of the reasons we found as well that there's a lot of working moms.
Yes.
And there's a lot of widows out there that, to cook for one is not that easy.
Sure.
So with our little meals that we make, the smaller ones especially, you can eat for 2 days. And that it's quality. And I think that's a big thing. And that's why we've relied very, very much on word of mouth, because referrals have always been the best way to get business.
Absolutely,
that's what we aim to keep up to 100% service level.
I'm excited. These are absolutely incredible conversation, value-based conversation. As we promise you, we bring people who are moving and shaking PE, people that have been in the game, they know the experience. So they're not talking theory, they've lived the talk. They know what they're talking about. So if you want to jump into catering, please, you've got information. We want to equip you so that you can go out there and be a success. So Charmaine, there is something that I did see on the internet.
On my Facebook page or on internet?
I think on your Facebook page, it says that you somehow you bumped into a child that you want to just touch on that? just a little bit?
Well, yeah, that's another interview.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, well, I would say one of the things, speaking about my relationship with the Lord, I have to tell you this, is that I did a discipleship course, and they were teaching us how to hear God. And in 2017, I heard while I was busy cleaning the house, your thoughts are my thoughts are your thoughts.
Wow.
Do not complicate hearing me.
Sure.
And I thought that is a strange thing to find, whirling around my head. So I wrote it down. 2018 arrived, 3rd of January, and Casper woke me to say that the car wouldn't start.
Wow.
And this is April. 3rd of April, yeah. 2018, and God was involved.
Wow.
And I dropped him, and on the way back, I felt God say to me, no, I didn't know it was God. I just had this thought, take Georgie for a walk. Now, Georgie is a dog that we found in 2017, also abandoned. And so I took the dog for a walk, and 8 minutes into the walk, I heard the cry, and Georgie thought it was a cat, and I also thought it was a cat. And then something just said to me, you don't move on. And I got a guy to stop the car. A guy who had who never rides that way, he came and stopped and helped me, because I tried to stop other people to help me, but they wouldn't. They said they're too busy. You see, that's life, eh?
Wow.
We're too busy, and we miss the opportunity. She was 3 hours old, still had vernix on her, lying in the drain. And beautiful story, Johnny, beautiful story. Beautiful story of a God who's faithful.
Wow, man, that brings me to tears.
It
really does. Wow, that's incredible. God, we serve a powerful God, and very important out there. That's one point that she's also saying, to be open ears, and not to be so clogged up with many issues of the world and what have you. To always be keen to hear what the Lord, because God might just be, speaking to you, as you said, your thoughts. Don't complicate hearing Him.
Don't complicate. If it's positive, just do it.
Absolutely. Wow. The time now is exactly 34 minutes past 1 p.m. We're just rounding up this conversation, but we don't want to do that without a word of encouragement. For somebody listening to us right now, Charmaine, and so far has been inspired by, your story and this conversation. What word of encouragement do you want to give them?
Okay, we listened to a man many years back, and he asked a question: what is the richest place on earth? And people were saying oil, Saudi Arabia, all those places. And he allowed everyone to share. And then he said the richest place on earth is in the graveyard, where people had died with the books they wanted to write, the companies they wanted to start. And you can carry on and on and on. There are people out there who don't know what to do. They've got no money. Start tiny. That's what I'm saying. Big doesn't mean, small doesn't mean that you're not successful. Success belongs to God. Work with Him. Let Him give you. Go and sit outside at night and look at the stars and see this huge universe created by this huge creative God. Jeremiah 1, go and read it. He has got stuff appointed for you, and that came about even with baby Grace. That is when I really first saw that scripture, because I would say, Father, what have you got here for this child? And I still see her, and I'm planning to be alive when I'm 80, because then she's going to be 18 or something. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm planning, because I want to tell her, sweetie, there's a terrible thing that happened, but I promise to God, God's got a plan and purpose for you. Wow. So for those listening, God has got a plan and purpose. You've got creativity given to you by God. Do not let those things go into the graveyard. Don't be dead before you die.
Absolutely.
So
that's a punchline. Don't be dead without, before you
die.
Absolutely. The time has come, but we don't want to leave. Charmaine, do you want to just give us, your contact details?
Yes.
How can people get in touch with you? Do you have a Facebook page?
Yes,
you have social media links, email addresses, website,
Correct.
and what have you?
Okay, so now I love my daughter. She says, Mom, you can't go without giving this information. Yes. Okay. So she says, Mom, tell them they can buy online via our website. We do deliver in PE area at a small fee, and our website is the Taste Bud Company. Okay, so you can find us on Facebook, the Taste Bud Company, and then the Shopify address is the tastebudco. myshopify.com. Cass and I have laughed about the Shopify because we call it Spotify. And then she keeps saying it's not Spotify, that's for music. It's Shopify. So, Cass's favorite. So I will give that to you, and then you can put that on your Facebook page.
Absolutely.
And what do you call it? WhatsApp number is 079 514 1313.
Awesome.
079 514, 1313.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much, Caspar.
Pleasure.
Thank you for having us, Johnny.
I appreciate the both of you. This is just the time we believe that you have gotten sufficient information to know how to run your next catering business. You know what? The Bible says, we've got a cloud of witnesses that have gone in ahead of us. So these are just living witnesses. There's a testimony that they have. We're definitely going to bring Charmaine back, for another story. Don't you touch that dial. It's me, your host, John. At the time now, as I said, it's 38 minutes past 1 p.m. We're going to listen to a couple of worship, and then I'll be right back. We're going to listen to Jen Johnson, In Over My Head.